it's very old, well, fairly old building, flat sandstone. For a moment I thought there was a, I haven't looked at this side ever before, kind of like that I recall. I was like, oh, is that mud flooded? But it's access to whatever's gone underneath, because this is the water treatment facility which connected to that. I mean, there's water here, there's the poo factories over there, for lack of a better name or explanation or reasonable to even comprehend word manifestation. Because a mate of mine, who used to I couldn't say hello. A mate of mine used to call it the poo factory. Not that particular one, a different one. Yeah, I did think at the time, well, obviously still now, because that's what served this part to spew from my mouth, from my mind, is that, well, they don't actually make poos there. Where the poo, I mean, anyhow, that's what I thought. Yeah. So I don't want anyone to get confused and think that that's where we get our poos made. I don't really even like that word, but that's alright. You gotta, my mate Lambo will get that. He'll have a laugh at that if you hit Lambo, hear me say that. I never did like that word, but I'm not gonna. But yeah, just I didn't like it. I should probably. I've gotten used to it, so I'm saying it more. Poo. There you go. It's a step, a terrible step. You know, made me cringe a little bit, hurt my own feelings. Did it myself consciously. Probably sounded pretty crass and rude to you. Imagine if you were me. You probably didn't even have a problem with that word. I've had a problem with that word just never liked it for a long time. Maybe it was programmed into me. I assume it had to have been. So I've associated something. Funnily enough, I associated, you know, it's whatever I would have, you call it whatever, I thought I just didn't like the sound of it, I thought. I'd never really thought about it, I just didn't like it. But now I'm thinking about it. It could have been called, I'm not going to go on to things, you could have called it anything is my point, and it probably just stemmed from my mum doing and dad doing the appropriate thing and helping me, and maybe being disappointed with me being a little factory for such olfactory. Yeah, I'll stop the thing. Maybe that makes sense, maybe it doesn't. Either way, you'll be right, I'll be right. In my defence. Yeah. And your defence as well. Regardless of what side you're on or whether you're sitting on it. It doesn't really matter, does it? Oh no, this I've never actually stopped. Hello, much love. That's my lovely parakeets. Yeah, they're nice. And yeah, it's even beautiful here across the road from the poo factory. Mostly because of the water and the birds. And I think this is the thing, not the thing. I came here to do something else, and I better bloody do it before I don't do it and it's too late, and then I whinge. Why didn't I do that? I spent all my battery and time recognising and pontificating over a beautiful semi-man-made nature part that I find here in front of me, and yeah, I'm not getting distracted by it. I'm actually protracted is supposed to be a bad thing, isn't it? I don't know. I don't think it. I thought it'd be professionally on track. Hello. Alright, so you can argue. You can argue I'm neither of those. Yeah, I just stopped in here because I never had at this particular bit, and I had a moment and I had to do something which I haven't done, and I'll do it. Just enjoying the birds, more the feathered kinds, not really that. Bit rich calling that a bird. in my opinion, but you know, you don't have to hear it, and it's okay for me if you don't. It's merely my word. If you do, lovely. Thank you for hearing. Even if you... I'm going to stop the silly round and round in circles. Anyway, I don't even know. I've said I'll probably do nothing with this. I'm going to stop and do my thing. That one of the things I was coming to do. Kind of feel like the way things go, I was going to fuck up and I won't be able to do the thing I actually stopped in to do, but that will be a lesson in itself, because I know as well part of why I stopped there is because I'm also here to do this. This is part of me, this thing I'm being and doing and seeing and saying. This is, I think, is man. I had a discussion with a mate. He's a mate. I'll just say that. I was gonna like, wow, it looks like I'm doing it anyway. I'm softening my preface, my preface. I don't know if my face is previously a hard or soft edifice. Merely, I was gonna say, look, my mate adds. He can certainly know some things, and he's come up with some good, as we all do. But also, yeah, I've learnt. Yeah, well, I don't 100% rely on anyone's bloody information. That's the thing, because everything's biased, everything's coming from our own, and as a basis or derived from our own vantage and our own choices of learning and discerning what's appropriate and what's more something other than avalanche. I don't think that really worked, and yeah, partly distracting, avoiding other things. Oh yeah, not that, it was more avoiding just other parts of things. Well, yeah. That whole bit down there is man-made, like the actual where the lock is, it's man-made. And then Adam says, "Oh, man-made," and I was like, "Huh." And I said, "Oh no, you're right," because I had been hello, hey, you almost love. I had been what I was pondering was down at Henley. There's this massive hump that runs the whole sort of way along. Just Henley the whole way along, like a big, like a bridge thing was, like a bridge. My brain had left when I said I wasn't yet doing the thing that I actually supposed to be doing as a priority. It's just, I feel more drawn to the birds and the sky and the nature type things than something tying me to the fiat currency system or the government of mine. Hello matey, thank you. I was about to go off on a little thing. Thanks, dude. I'll stay on this little thing instead. If you start hopping, that's the end. I'm not talking to you if you start hopping, dude. It's not that Murray magpies can't have dodgy legs around me. It's just that, sorry, you give me like 4 or 5 in a row, I start to get, I was going to say overly, probably rightfully cynical about that part of the show. Too bad for any buggered leg Murray magpie in the future. It just cops it, much like anyone that happens to have a headlight out now. I mean, frankly, I've been given too many fake motherfucking ones that I shouted about, and it's like, well, yeah, because that's the thing, sensitised me to it, and guess what? It can muck it up for everyone. I mean, it served to teach me to hone in my behaviour somewhat, so it's all good. Alright, they're both walking, I think, yep, sweet. I'm still. Murray mouth talking. This is a padawalunga, not the Murray. Anyhow, he was saying it was all man-made. I was like, well, man, the river's going to come from the river this bit. The river, because what I'm quite sure it is actually the continuation of the Sturt River, which is, I mean, part of the reason I have such an affinity with it, because up where they dammed the Sturt Creek, and they've turned it all, sort of, storm or whatever. There was a natural flow that's been dammed. God knows what they're doing. I mean, hopefully that's being used for something reasonable, some of it. But I think it turns into like the drain, right? And then I think it turns back into this. So this would have been here. And as I said, well, the river's come from somewhere. But good point I said to him, because that explains Headley Beach why it was like that. Because that bit was all swamp. And the West Lakes was all swamp. That's been documented and whatnot. And this, perhaps it would have it continued. There were sand dunes here. I've looked at the old pictures. The river would have still come through. It would have been the Sturt River. They've renamed it the Padawalunga. Look, I'm making brash presumptions, but I'm quite sure that's what it is. Maybe I'll look at it, maybe I won't. I'm going to stop and do that thing, because even though it's like, I don't want to be part of the whole thing, it's like, well, I have no money and I need to eat, and if I don't sort it out using a device that's actually surreptitiously killing me in a number of ways and fucking me up all right, realise I was onto it, that one, even though because that's the thing, I can be onto a number of things at the same time. That's what happens when you're not binary. That's maybe part I've pondered a number of times lately. Perhaps that's why I've got a memory, and a lot of things around me. Hello, much love, thank you. Those little parakeets. I didn't do the chirp because I no, he's onto something here. Just fly past, let him know we're here. Don't make noise. He's about to come out with something that's spot on, or thereabouts. That was their take. Thank you. Oh, there's the ducks. Yeah, cool. Yeah, but see, we can have a number of things going at the one time. Being real man or woman. It's layers and layers of light, octaves of light, sound, colour, thought, texture, all these incredible things. That's what art is. That's what we're walking around is art. It's our own mind, I've said as well. But yeah, it's art, and art imitates life. Life imitates art, because that's non-binary by design, if you like. Noah, I don't know. I haven't thought about what was coming out of my mouth. Then I said art, and art popped in, and I didn't even get there. I stopped at Noah because I was like, that might be a bit loaded, or it might be spot on. Often these things. Anyhow, yeah. Many a truth is said in jest, and I'm going to run out of data and all the rest before I say what I didn't know I came into said and found myself saying just then. But then I will rest, and I'll be okay. Despite whatever quest pops up on the day, there'll be a number of them. But don't worry, you'll remember the others too, because you're not binary. If you're hearing this, you're like you and me, and we're two that can remember that. It's not like you even hello, thank you. It's just one is like they're showing binary, because it was two, there was one. That's all you get. I mean, that's beautiful. That was more than binary, but anyhow, hopefully you get the analogy if you hear that. If you got it, thank you for that. I said to a friend, I was trying to explain to a friend how the AI, how the fact that these surveillance devices we're carrying around, the surveillance, militarised, I forget what the A is now because my hypnotism is still in demise. It's not worn off though completely. Reconnaissance technology. I was explaining how I was. The reason data's everything now for a while because the AI. Because I'm going to run out of everything here before I be able to spit that concept out completely. It forced me to think about how to explain to it. I was like, well, think about it like this, okay? It's a disc. Let's think of every day as a disc, a circle, right? Disc. Let's say a disc, a circle, right? You know what that is. I don't need to describe it, even though my head's instinctually saying otherwise. As in, like, you know, I'm trying to go in a circle. Right, but okay, everywhere you go on that day, put like a dot or mark dot 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 in those spots. And I said that's every day, right? So then if you were to layer heaps of those on top, one on top of the other, as what happens, you know, multi-layered contextualization when you're not a binary Google thumbs up, thumbs down, you know, confounded station. You're a divinely inspired manifestation, far beyond the simplified yes or no. Fucking, oh, did you like it? Describe an observation. So, yeah, I don't know, we're not binary. Said that. But yeah, you think about it, I don't know where I'm going out. But yeah, it was like, oh, then that was a way to describe it. I thought, you know, that makes a lot of sense, because I said if you were to do that, and then you look down from above on your, you know, circles that you for every day, and you would see a pattern, a very distinct pattern of where you go. It wouldn't be much of the circle. Most of us be bugger all of the circle. Be bugger all. You'd be grouped into a tiny area, and that's why. That's why I mean to do is get your information, what you're doing. They predict the future. They predict to the second. All right, that's why it's about. That's why I want to know everything. It's not just that. That's my mate, and that's a while back. He's like, "Oh, everyone wants to know everyone's information." It's like, well, it's not. No, it's not just that they want to know. It's that they have enough information. For one, they feed the cycle, which, you know, they're creating you're creating their manifestation by doing what they show on the dismay popular, you know, TV, radio situation. But two, it's predicting. They can predict that's why they want to know everything about you. That's what people. I don't care if my phone's telling Samsung, Google everywhere I go, everything I think. I love Facebook. I love telling everyone what I'm doing on Facebook. I'm stuck on my ego, and I want other people to give me a fucking thumbs up, so I put it on Facebook because, you know, I'm like that. That's not me, but that's what I used to see. Yeah, and I'm trailing off now intentionally again. Not concerned about the weather because I create that, and it, you know, creates me, and I love the rain and, you know, the sun and the birds and the trees, and what'll be will be, and yeah, I know I make that. I've learned that, you know, but partly by realising I am that. But it's impossible to explain that to anyone that's just you know, some men and women will understand that if they hear it and be like, yeah, 100%, because that's real. But trying to get anyone else that's, you know, wow, that's, you know, spinning hard on the programmed system rat race wheel, it's not going to happen. All right? Except we could do this by, you know, not by ourselves, but we've got to wake up or have the instinct to feed our own minds. It's got to be self-spawned, not influenced or contrived otherwise. Maybe happen like that, but it's not. Don't rely on it. I'm not trying to get others in that regard to. It's like, yeah, I've realised that that's a folly in itself. I just try and be real, be honest, and share. Run out. I'm gonna go. Cut me out. I'm gonna go anyway. It's gonna die, and I'm going. Much love. Just.